Greetings, blessings, welcome. This is another entry for the 100-Day Challenge, Sorcery of the Ancients. Finnegan, straight out the central kingdom of the Celestial Dragon. Twilight Zone old Peking back with another one. Welcome back, Wayfarer, wherever you are, whoever you are, and whenever you may be receiving this transmission. I hope you are doing well on the 100-Day Challenge. I'm the Grand Wizard of the Esoteric Order of Dagon, Eastern Star Division. Self-appointed, of course. Working with you on the 100-Day Challenge. Hit the like and subscribe. Join the show if you're in town. And we'll go ahead and copy the link, get it in there early in case anybody wants to jump up and talk shop with Frank Monday. Join the show to talk about Magick and QiGong. And there's the link. Having myself a cup of coffee this morning. There's the link. I'll make sure to get it pinned. Don't know how to pin it through StreamYard, so I'll have to jump over to YouTube and pin it. Hopefully you can hear my transmission okay. Let me check see if we're broadcasting on YouTube. Magick with Frank Monday, making the connection between Magick and QiGong. All right, good. The sound volume looks like it's coming through. Looks like hit the link and join me. Oh, okay. There's already a pinned link. I'll have to remove that one, I guess. Removed pinned link. And then we'll have to pin a new link. Replaced pinned message. Yeah. Did that work? Join the show and talk about Magick and QiGong. Yeah, it looks like the link is pinned now, so we're good to go on that front. And yeah, so a little bit of defining of the 100-Day Challenge. As some of you may know, let's see here. That is not correct. I think this is. Excellent. I'm going to drop the old camera for a minute, guys, and pull up the link. Share the screen. And we're getting a little bit of feedback on the YouTube, on the StreamYard, rather. Guess it's time for everybody to start getting up here in Old Peking and using the internet. So connection is a little bit flaky. That's okay. As long as you can hear me okay, I will keep double checking to make sure we're good to go. Excellent. So we'll start by defining the 100-Day Challenge a little bit. You can find this on buymeacoffee.com. 100-Day Challenge, Sorcery of the Ancients. Once again, temples open. 100-Day Magical Challenge. The idea isn't a new one, right? This current challenge involves frames from Carlos Castaneda and sorcery, right? And the teachings of Don Juan. So we're looking into that, doing some daily study. My challenge started on the equinox, the spring equinox, which was basically my first day. The 20th was the equinox, and my first day was the 21st. So for me personally, I'm in day 44, 45 of the challenge. So nearly at the halfway point. And that's good magic. So dealing with the point of attention, the attention factor, right? The critical factor, the ideation point of the analog function of the mind. Central to the practice is cultivation and movement of the attention point. How one directs awareness determines what one perceives and what becomes possible. So we've been working to shift the attention point away from ordinary everyday things and into the subtle body and the subtle mind, toward the body's subtle boundaries, non-ordinary realities, and toward a broader field of perception. Moving the point of attention is both technique and metaphor. It involves exercises to pull from habitual focus points. So what we're directing away from is inner chatter, tasks, socially prescribed viewpoints, and breaking through ordinary everyday paradigms. Doing that by bringing them into alternative registers, hands, breath, stillness, and movement of internal energy. Series of exercises I've been engaged in here are: 1, grounding awareness. So let's have a look at that. For the first exercise, the grounding awareness is to sit upright or stand if you like, right? You can also do these exercises standing. Let's see, pop that up a little bit. So if you're standing, just relaxed posture, feet about shoulder width. You can sink down a little in your posture, kind of curve, arch the back, right? Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. 6 to 10 of these initial breaths. Once you've completed a few initial breaths, flip the hands over and direct the focus, the gaze at the hands. Keep everything rounded, arms rounded, shoulders, hands in front of you, slightly apart from each other, oscillating back and forth, and focus 2 to 3 minutes on bringing the energy into the hands. All right, so this was the first series of exercises, and I called them: 1, grounding body awareness, the foundation, and then moving the point of attention. So with the hands in front of you, palms facing in, you place the attention first at the fingertips, noticing temperature, tingling, pressure, no analyzing, just gazing, using the gaze. After 30 to 60 seconds, you move the attention deliberately back to the hand and wrist, right? And then down into the elbows, maybe back up into the shoulders, into the torso, and then back out again. So you can kind of do an inhaling of bringing the energy in and up, back into the core from the center dantian, and then back out again into the hands. These 2 preliminary exercises are important for setting the foundation. So body relaxed, right? Breathe in, breathe out, command yourself to relax. You start by gathering that energy. Then in the next edition, we're going to flip that energy over and use the triangle of art to form a sigil. So you can see here that I'll try to adjust it a little bit. I've got a sigil, a little swirl in the background there, and you can see it between my hands. So we're going to be looking at 3 developments of the energy through sigil magic, with that focus of the triangle of art with the hands, right? So Again, review real quick. First exercise, cleansing, relaxing. Second exercise, gathering and focusing the energy, moving it in and out of the hands. Third exercise, connecting the heart center with the line of intent and the triangle of art, and then forming a sigil within that triangle and causing it to visibly manifest in the mind and in the subtle energy around the body, right? So the gaze can be relaxed, right? The more you imagine it appearing in the triangle of art, the more it will appear. So we're going to work with 3 different sigils to be putting into that. Let me grab a piece of charcoal. Got some nice charcoal sticks here. And some paper back here. So the first numeration on the Kabbalah, right, is the ancient Chinese symbol of the sun, or the first point. So you're just going to form a circle with a dot in the middle. All right, it's very simple type of idea, right? Just a circle with a dot in the middle. And so you could use something like this, like an easel, and put it across from you, and actually focus through the hands at the sigil, and then bring it in, closing the eyes, imagine it appearing in the triangle of art, and then opening the eyes, refocusing the attention, and then closing the eyes, and each time commanding yourself to relax deeper. So this will be the first. Let's see how can I get it a little closer? Don't want it to interfere too much though. So the first, just a circle and a dot, right? This is a central point where you can learn to observe later and bring this central focused point to any area of the magical circle. This is a microcosm of your larger magical circle. When you do your LBRP practice, you begin with the Kabbalistic cross. So you rise up to the Ein Sof Or, and it can originate from this same similar type of energy, right? It can be thought of graphically in terms of the single point and then the 3 veils emanating from it. Almost looks like a Wi-Fi signal now, huh? So you draw that energy down in the form of a column into the body, right? And then you're going to push it out this direction and this direction, and essentially form the Kabbalistic cross with the energy. For those of you who are familiar. Now, the QiGong aspects of this in integrating the QiGong with the magical practice is the inhales and condensing. So you're pulling in natural qi energy, right? And then you're condensing it. So a little bit of pressure to push the diaphragm and push down a little bit. So when breathing with the QiGong method, you're going to want to use diaphragmatic breathing, which means what, right? It means that rather than up in the chest area breathing, to inflate the area at the navel, right? So you inhale and inflate that area. There are 2 styles. There's pre-heaven and post-heaven. Pre-heaven breathing, infant breathing, is when you pull the stomach in as you inhale and feel the pressure from the inhale expanding even below the dantian, right? And then when you exhale, you push the belly out. So it's as if you imagine the umbilical cord connecting you to cosmic energy. And so when you inhale, you're pulling in through the umbilical cord. And as you exhale, you're pushing out through the umbilical cord, an imaginary umbilical cord, right? So this is pre-heaven and post-heaven. Post-heaven is to breathe naturally and rhythmically, right? So when you inhale, you expand the lower dantian, and when you exhale, you contract the lower dantian. To add the QiGong level to it is that you'll be condensing that drawn in energy deeper into the body, right? So again, inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. In and out. Gather. And project. Once you've projected your sigil, gather it back in, store it in the central dantian, relax, 3 breaths to end the exercise. E, R, San. QiGong is essentially internal energy pathway working, right? And it's utilizing breath work in combination with movement. So some very simple exercises are to swirl the hands in oscillating circles in front of you. Again, shifting the focus to the hands. Start off with those grounding breaths, right? And then just simple movement of the energy, expanding the perceptual awareness to perceive the auric field. And it's the energy of the auric field, the etheric energy, that we're going to be gathering into a sigil within the triangle of art. Let's have a couple more looks at the various sigils. So we started with that dot in the circle, right? Try that one for a few days, see how it works for you, and concentrate, stay concentrated. The will, sorcerer's attention, wizarding will, and magical intent. These 3 aspects of the magical process is what we're training with these exercises. So the next one you're going to want to do is the decreic. So this first one is the volantic energy, right? Well, I'll put all 3 of them up here. This first one represents the sun in ancient Chinese pictographs, and in this system of magic represents the volantia, the volantic energy, the magical intent. The next one is the simple 5-pointed star in the circle, and it represents the decreic function in the EOD magical system. I'll go ahead and pull this up real quick. Hold on. I have a banner for it, I do believe. Yeah, here we are. So there's the banner. And then finally, the swirl can go in either a creative or a destructive arc, right? If it's creative, you're going to want to go DSL. And if it's dispersing, Widdershins, creative DSL. All right. So we've got the first one, the dot in the circle, representing the volantic principle, the star in the circle, represent the decreic, and then the swirl representing the unperturbed, receptive state, allowing things to come to fruition. So those will be the three basic sigils in this first expression of connecting the QiGong to the Magick. When you formulate your triangle of art, right, you're going to want to do it in a natural way for yourself, whichever feels comfortable. It should be connected, though, at the top and at the thumbs, all right, and then connected in this manner. The fingers should be independently strong, right? They do close up, though. You don't want them open and scattered, not in this exercise. And you're going to want the hands just at a natural length with the arms are not straight armed, right? Arms rounded and curved. And then you project your sigil into that triangle. Again, the process of starting, practicing, and then stopping are important in this exercise, this series of exercises. So grounding in body awareness as the first step, right? Commanding yourself to relax. Before you begin practice, you might like to say one of your incantations or prayers. You want to be mindful of what you're doing, think about it, and then shift from ordinary thinking into a magical awareness of holding thoughts, skepticism in abeyance so that the energy itself can be felt, right? You're not looking for something in particular. You're just detecting what is already there, right? So you're not trying to create anything per se. You're just looking for what is already there and then working with it. So 6 to 10 breaths, commanding your body to relax and to be mindful. Then moving the attention out into the hands, holding it there for a couple of minutes. If the mind wanders, of course, bringing the attention back. Stabilizing the internal alignment of postures, right? Head. I've gone over these in the past. I don't know if you're familiar with them or not, but the basic postures are head suspended as if there is a string lifting up from the crown of the head, jaw slightly tucked inward, right? Head slightly down a little bit, eyes tending toward looking up. When you're focused on your sigil, you're looking at it. But when you're just in a meditative trance, the eyes will lift and slightly close. Tongue to the roof of the mouth, pressed against the roof of the mouth to complete the circuit. Teeth not open, but slightly clenched, not tightly, just clenched. That completes the internal Renjong meridian. Shoulders back and rounded, all right? Low back arched, sitting preferably at the edge of a chair, or if you're standing, again, feet approximately shoulder width and stance slightly lowered, putting the pressure. Everything is rounded, right? Nothing is fully extended. Arms aren't fully extended. Body, spinal column, naturally rounded as a serpent, right? You can imagine a rattlesnake coiled and then its body arching up, right, in this direction. That's how you're going to tuck the hips a little bit, naturally round the shoulders and arch of the back so that everything's comfortable and flows naturally and unimpeded. When you return to basic seated meditation and you want to spend some time connecting with the greater auric field, then I recommend the position of the hand. So basically just put the hands in the lap and then connect the thumbs. This is for when you feel that your energies are balanced, right? So you can set them there, assume the postures, and then just engage in some natural rhythmic breathing. If you feel that your energy is not well grounded and you would like to better ground your energy, you go palms down and place them on top of the knees. This is known as like the emperor posture. And then if you feel like you may be agitated and the energy is a little bit excessive and you would like to off-gas some of your excessive energy, then you can put the hands palm up and open again on top of the thighs. And this will help to balance the energy. So 3 different postures for 3 states of energy. Of course, the most balance is the just place them in the lap at the dantian, and then imagine the pre-heaven chi being absorbed through the lower dantian. Get into more advanced postures later on, like the heart-centered practice, where you curl the fingers in, thumbs touching, fingers curled in, and place them on the heart center, the center dantian, the terrestrial dantian. All right. Now, when we're projecting a magical sigil out into the receptive nature of the cosmos, the universal energy, you could start by creating it in the mind, the third eye, and in the triangle of art, and then bringing it down out and into your triangle, and then project it out into the cosmos so that it will seed into the cosmic echo, and then it will start to grow and arrive at fruition and come back to you in the form of whatever it is your intent on manifesting. We're doing that a little later on, though. We can see that's in exercise 3, creating that line of intent and direct attention. I think my camera freezes when I flip the page. Let's see here. I want to double check on the old. Let's see here. Turn that volume down a little bit. Get it up to speed. And then I want to see if the camera freezes when I shift over. So the line of intent, number 3, visualizing a narrow. Yeah, it does freeze. It looks like it froze. So I'll go ahead and turn it off for a second anyway, because it looks like it's pretty shaky camera action. Let's try this. I'm going to turn off the camera, and then I'm going to re-enter the room. Maybe, let's see. All right, I'll do that. And then I'll add this to the stage. Yeah, so that'll work. We'll just go ahead and go with that for now. And we've got the line of intent, the third exercise here. So this is for the 30 day 30 through 40 of the 100-day challenge. You're adding this idea of direct attention and visualizing a narrow straight line connecting your terrestrial dantian to the center of the triangle of art with the hands extended in front of you. Place the point of attention at the heart center and then move it out along the line into the triangle of art, and then bring it back into the heart center. It says repeat 6 to 10 times. You do that, but also the idea of bringing that line of intent, that point of attention out along the line into the center of the triangle of art and visualizing the sigil that you're working with. Again, I would recommend working with the dot, the points in the circle, and then the 5-pointed star, and then the swirl, right? So these 3, try each of them. So the idea is that you're developing the ability to move attention along an intentional pathway and holding it outside of the body, but contained within the triangle of art in conjunction with your breath work, right? And with the visualization and moving the energy from the astral into the etheric to tangible manifestation in the prime material, right? So I'll look over that with you. Give me just a second. I'm gonna toggle this VPN off, guys, because we're getting a lot of crazy like lag time on my side, and so I'll see if this helps. If right back in, but yeah, I toggled off the VPN, so that may or may not help. Yeah, there we are. Let's choose a nice color here. Still getting a lot of like lag time on my camera. I'm not sure why. So with this first one, we're going to say this is the, I probably need a better pin than that. Yeah, we'll go with this one. This first one's going to be Volantia, right? And it's the intent, the idea of the intent. And you're actually here, you're working with the astral light. So this is going to be the summoning and gathering point of the astral light. Now, once you start moving this attention point in the triangle of art down here at the next section, this is the decretic or decreeism, and you're bridging the astral into the etheric. So in the second step, if you're forming your sigil, in this example, we're forming the 5-pointed star, the pentagram, the symbol of man, right? Also known as the seal of Solomon. So this is Solomonic magic, right? We use this one also in the lesser banishing and greater invoking of the pentagram rituals, right? So we're here, you can see that you're guiding the astral light to bridge via the etheric into the actual thing itself, right? Its direct manifestation, which is going to be Posism, and this will be its material appearance. So a basic 3-step process here. This last one, the sigil of the swirl, is going to be bridging the gap between the astral light, its etheric manifestation, the gathering and tangible appearance of that thing into the material. You can also see how this 3-step process is indicative of your Xia, Zhong, and Shang Dantian. So the lower swirl will connect with the infernal Dantian. The decreic star will connect with the terrestrial Dantian, and the upper volantic, commanding of the astral light, connects to the celestial Dantian. So you can see how these things are not willy-nilly, right? They're well-founded and rooted in Taoist and Hermetic principles and universal truths. The idea here is that heaven above, right? The heaven energy connects to the earth energy by way of man. All right. So we have man at the terrestrial level, heaven, the celestial impetus, the prime motive, that spark of creative light, the divine spark, which flashes down into man and connects to the earth, its material manifestation. So there you have it, guys. That's the basic idea right there. And again, no need to go as far just yet of thinking about where exactly it's going, because you don't want to create a self-fulfilling prophecy. Rather, you want to discover what's there. So it's not so much about learning these things as it is about remembering them, right? Remembering your early youthful connection with the breath and the body. And when you could directly, and I don't know if you could or not, I'm going on my own ideas here, but there's a time in youth when everyone can connect very easily with the astral light, and all that they imagine to be in the world actually comes into the world. And so they push and pull at the strings of life, and they create alterations in their karmatic fate and their destiny, and kind of set the groundwork for the trajectory they head throughout life. For me individually, I feel that I was blessed in that I discovered magic and QiGong and Kung Fu and stuff at a very early age. And as a result, I followed that path my entire life in doing the practices rather than talking about them. In fact, I never started really talking about it openly until I was just a solitary practitioner for the most part. I've joined a few secret orders, like, I've talked about, I was initiated into the Golden Dawn, the Temple of Astarte, the Universal Society of the Integral Way, and then the White Cloud Temple here in Beijing. So I've worked with certain groups, but almost always, right? When does all of your deeper meditative work happen? When does deep learning occur? It's pretty much through solitary practicing, right? Through doing it on your own, through going into the quiet moments in your temple, your domicile, retreating from the world, reflecting, meditating, deep breathing and relaxation. That's when these things are best actualized in one's life. We'll go ahead and read the statement of sincerity for the path, and then I'll play the invocation of Tahuti for you by Israel Regardi, and I invite you to reflect on the words in the invocation as he goes through it, and think of it as a magical journey. You might like to take the opportunity to relax a little and just enjoy the reading as he walks us through the invocation of Tahuti. Ooh, look, there's a little bit of note-taking on the advanced sigil. Rather than the dot in the circle would, of course, be the eye in the triangle, representative of Shen. The star, again, represents the Qi center, the 5 solid organs. And then the swirl down at the bottom represents the Jing Qi, or Kundalini force, is what most Westerners would probably be familiar with that expression. So where is the daily mental discipline, statement of daily mental discipline? I am the offspring of the divine nature of the universe. Through the positive, creative, and constructive nature of the universe, I have been given life. May pure, positive energy display itself in my nature and in my daily life. May only the highest energy manifest in my speech and my behavior. May only the highest energy manifest in my speech and my behavior. May I demonstrate the benevolence of the universal nature in my relationships with my fellow men and women. May pure, positive energy be the only experience of my being. May my spirit and mind be a reflection of the sublime harmony and order of the universe. And may my body be a workshop of the subtle origin. When I have my meal, may the pure, positive energy be my true nourishment. When I sleep, may a peaceful nature be my refreshment. When I work, may the exposure of the divine nature be my only task. And when I conduct my life, may the universal nature be my only way. So it is commanded and confirmed. So mote it be. Amen. So, suggestion for practice on this one: the daily mental discipline is suitable for daily use and is best used in the early morning hours before the day begins. It's a short invocation to help you reform your daily life and help you in the conduct of your life, right? And so this is something that I started in my late teens, and every day for decades, I would say this invocation in the morning, and then throughout the day, the training works this way. When you do the invocations throughout the day in any given situation, the words of the invocation will echo within the mind. So you might encounter something of confusion or need to make a choice or something like this, and it will be at an intrinsic second nature level. There's an entire section on here on training the mind. And in my 20s, I really sought to memorize most of these subtle axioms and proverbs. I'll give you an example of some. Do not become attached to the external excitement of worldly life. Remain unattached. Where there is 1 inch of attachment, there is 1 inch of spiritual entrapment. Do not be self-opinionated. Be humble and flexible. Maintain reserve when expressing opinions. No idea is absolute, and everything changes. Do not disrespect valuable teachings or good writings. Cherish enlightening writings, for they help liberate you. Do not create taboos for yourself or inhibitions. Be open-minded and know that taboos are self-imposed limitations, and all limitations obstruct spiritual evolution. Do not be superstitious. Use your natural reason to direct yourself. Do not be bored, discontent, or incapable of enjoying things. Approach people and situations with freshness and openness. So it goes on and on. There are a couple of pages of thoughts, attitudes, and emotion. Then there are a couple of pages of commanding words, right? Like, do not mislead others with half-truths. Be accurate and clear and complete in your communications, or do not say anything at all. Right? Really good stuff. Moves from words into deeds. And here's a little talisman I made when I was like 19 or something. It's been in there forever. So it's in the book. And I remember this is this is a guest check from when I was waiting tables. So I was still a lowly restaurant waiter. Okay, so then we got deeds, stuff like do not watch people engaged in the killing of animals. Avoid even indirect participation in the harming of any creature. All right. Do not be untidy, dirty, or filthy in where you live. Maintain purity in your external environment, whether at home, work, school, or in your car. All right, really good stuff. Goes on and on with deeds. Several pages of deeds, in fact. A really good one. I mean, these are just universal truths, right? Do not overindulge in anything. Practice moderation in all matters, even in moderation, right? Be moderate even in your moderation. Yeah, so quite a few pages of that. Let's see, page 78. So page 60 to 78, 18 pages of guidelines for healthful living. I'm going to publish that to the Buy Me a Coffee page, guys. So keep a lookout for it. I'll call it something like let's see. So this manuscript is just it's prior to the actual publication of the book, and originally called them the Silent Way of Blessing. Right. I'll read the preamble to you. The following work was written by an achieved one named Chang'o during the Tang Dynasty, so from 620 to 950 AD. That's really the time when the flourishing of the integration of the three legs of the cauldron, as they call it in Chinese, Buddhism, Taoism, and Confucianism were kind of integrated. At that time during the Tang Dynasty, they would say that Buddhism is my robe. It covers my corpse and prepares it for the afterlife. Confucianism is my cane. It supports me and creates a rule, right? Like a stick of order. And then Taoism is my sandal. It carries me across the way, right? The path in life. Buddhism was meant to address the spiritual afterlife. Confucianism was meant to address the societal integration of life at the family and social level and legality, this kind of thing. And then Taoism was meant for the individual spiritual life and cultivation of the person, the persona, right? The personality. And according to Tao, this is your greatest treasure, is the cultivation of a good personality. So Chang'o during the Tang Dynasty says, for 17 generations, I have incarnated as a man of superior position. I have never oppressed anyone. I have saved people from misfortune, helped people in need, shown pity to orphans, and forgiven people for their mistakes. I have extensively practiced the subtle virtue of doing good deeds without requiring anything in return. In this way, I became attuned to the heavenly way. If you too can set your mind on things as I have, then heaven will surely bestow blessings upon you. Refrain from doing evil, but earnestly do good deeds. This is the highest doctrine of all good religions. Thus, there will never be any ill influences upon you, and you will always be protected by good and auspicious spirits. Depending on how you treat others, immediate reward will come to you, and later rewards will reach your posterity. 100 blessings will come to you like a chariot pulled by rushing horses. 1,000 fortunes will surround you like auspicious clouds gathering above. If you practice the following aids for self-inspection, all good things will come to you through the silent way of blessing. Yeah, so the Silent Way of Blessing by Chang'o. We don't need to overthink it, right? Just a do-gooder that was alive during the Tang Dynasty. Reprinted many times. In fact, this little pamphlet, The Silent Way of Blessing, was one of the core teachings during the Tang Dynasty. And it was popular for 1,000 years, 1,200 years. Its popularity reigned throughout the land of Chinaland, right? Everyone valued it and saw it as the correct form of teaching. So very good. Again, guys, I'll publish it to the Buy Me a Coffee so that you can have a look at it for yourself if you like, right? I'll probably post it here on YouTube at a later date as well. But I like to post things over there on the Buy Me a Coffee first, because then it goes out to the people in my mailing list. I think there's about 25 people now on the mailing list for the Buy Me a Coffee website. So do check it out. It's just buymeacoffee/Frank Monday. While you're over there, you might pull a something in the tip jar if you're feeling generous, right? And that'd be good magic. All right, that's going to do it for that section. I do see that we've got a visitor out in Happy Land. So good to see you, Real to Real. Shabbat Shalom. It is Sunday here in the Central Kingdom. I think you're probably having a lovely Sabbath. I posted the link if anybody wants to chime in and join me for a little bit of magical practice and talk and shop about magic. I'm gonna refresh. I'm gonna heat up my coffee. My coffee has gone cold, but it's still damn good black coffee, right? Cup of mud. But I'm gonna throw it in the microwave for a minute and put a little fire on it. And whilst I do that, I will play the Invocation of Tahuti for you. And then maybe we could get a little panel going, have some fun up here for one time on the old Frank Monday channel. We talk about whatever y'all good-looking, sexy people want to talk about. Just put it in the chitter chatter box. Looks like Dr. D Head was here as well. Dr. D, good to see you. Thanks for stopping by, man. I appreciate you, beloved. And like I said, Real to Real was here. Good to see you, beloved. Prayer hands. Salutations. Holy art thou, Lord of the universe, vast and the mighty one. Let's get into it.
Invocation of Thoth. Procul, O procul esti profani, qual lasti ompeda. In the name of the mighty and terrible one, I proclaim that I have banished the shells unto their habitations. I invoke Tahuti, the Lord of wisdom and of utterance, the God that cometh forth from the veil. O thou majesty of the Godhead, wisdom-crowned Tahuti, Lord of the gates of the universe, thee I invoke. O thou of the ibis head, thee I invoke. Thou who wieldest the wand of double power, thee I invoke. Thou who bearest in thy left hand the rose and cross of light and life, thee I invoke. Thou whose head is as an emerald, and thy nemesis as the night sky blue, thee I invoke. Thou whose skin is of flaming orange as though it burned in a furnace, thee I invoke. Behold, I am yesterday, today, and the brother of tomorrow. I am born again and again. Mine is the unseen force whereof the gods are sprung, which is as life unto the dwellers in the watchtowers of the universe. I am the charioteer of the east, Lord of the past and of the future. I see by mine own inward light, Lord of resurrection, who cometh forth from the dust, and my birth is from the house of death. O ye two divine hawks upon your pinnacles, who keep watch over the universe, ye who accompany the bier to the house of rest, who pilot the ship of wrong, ever advancing onwards the heights of heaven, Lord of the shrine which standeth in the center of the earth. Behold, he is in me, and I in him. Mine is the radiance wherein Ptah floateth over the firmament. I travel upon high. I tread upon the firmament of new. I raise up flashing flame with the lightning of mine eye, ever rushing on in the splendor of the daily glorified Ra, giving my life to the dwellers of earth. If I say, come up upon the mountains, the celestial waters shall flow at my word. For I am Ra incarnate, Kefra, created in the flesh. I am the eidolon of my father Tamu, Lord of the city of the sun. The God who commands is in my mouth. The God of wisdom is in my heart. My tongue is the sanctuary of truth, and a guard sitteth upon my lips. My word is accomplished every day, and the desire of my heart realizes itself as that of Ptah when he createth his works. I am eternal, therefore all things are as my designs, therefore do all things obey my word. Therefore do thou come forth unto me from thine abode in the silence, unutterable wisdom, or light, or power. So, Hermes, Mercury, Odin, by whatever name I call thee, thou art still nameless to eternity. Come thou forth, I say, and aid and guard me in this work of art. Thou, star of the east, that didst conduct the Magi, thou art the same all-present in heaven and in hell. Thou that vibratest between the light and the darkness, rising, descending, changing ever, yet ever the same. The sun is thy father, thy mother the moon. The wind hath borne thee in its bosom, and earth hath ever nourished the changeless Godhead of thy youth. Come thou forth, I say, come thou forth, and make all spirits subject unto me, so that every spirit of the firmament and of the ether, upon the earth and under the earth, on dry land and in the water, of whirling air and of rushing fire, and every spell and scourge of God the vast one may be obedient unto me.
So it is commanded and confirmed. So mote it be. Amen. All right, guys. For some reason, my StreamYard is acting funny, so I'm going to reload my window, which means I'm going to pop out for just a second, but I'll be right back. So stick around. Give me about 30 seconds to see if I can All right. And we are back once again, like Finnegan. Is everything functioning correctly? Can you see me? Can you hear me? Welcome back, Wayfarer. Is everything looking good? How's the audio quality? Oh, wait, we got Brent Edwards in the chat. Good to see you again, Brent. Hope you're doing well. Let's go ahead and pop that up. Yeah. So I would suggest for your 100-day challenge practice of sorcery, in addition to reviewing the teachings of Don Juan, I would like to suggest a little pamphlet that I found a lot of life in, and I think it's a worthwhile endeavor for any practitioner out there. Oh, before we do that, let me show you real quick over on the coffee page, one of the additional offerings I've got up there for basic seated meditation. You might like to check it out. It's a pamphlet I made in PDF form, And it's the golden light meditation. It's kind of a secret thing. It was taught to me through the Xingyi Martial Arts Institute when I was in high school and college. So I started practicing this when I was about, I don't know, 14, 15 years old is really when I kind of got into it. And I've been doing it basically my entire life since then. It's the basic golden light meditation. I'll show you. I've got a flip that I created from my notes. I recreated from my notes when I was actually a kid at the Martial Arts Institute, the Kung Fu school there in Southern California. So I've got it titled here on my page as Meditation Series 1, The Plasma Breath. And it's only 5. I got 9 of those left. When I sell those out, I'm going to republish it as a new pamphlet, right? And it may include more, so it may be the basic workbook for spiritual development. Then I'll probably up the price a little, maybe to $10, and it'll be a little more complete. But by the light of the shining trapezohedron, this document endeavors to illustrate a basic meditative practice to be done after QiGong for cooling down, gathering qi, and spiritual exploration. In esoteric Taoist QiGong, the plasma breath is a breathing exercise known as the Linghua Neidan QiGong, or palace brightening breath. It's a type of Daoyin, which is a Taoist term that refers to breath control exercises. So there's the basic document. You can grab a copy of that while it's still available. Like I said, I've only got 9 of those left. And then we're going to have to move on to the workbook for spiritual development. And then the meditation will be presented in a little bit different of a way. But yeah, that's the basic golden light meditation. It can be done in conjunction with your current 100-day challenge and the current practices that we're undergoing here. So yeah, once again, Grand Wizard of the Esoteric Order of Dagon, Oriental Temple here in Old Peking with a 100-day challenge. I would remind you at this time, Wayfarer, to please hit the like and subscribe. And then finally, you can find that document and all other instructions for the 100-day challenge over at buymeacoffee.com/Frank Monday. There it is there. As always, we've got the link in the ideas room there. So if you wanted to jump up and talk shop with old Frank Monday, just go ahead and hit that link. And we could do some tarot cards, or we could talk about magic and spiritual practices. I'm always interested to find out how you guys practice. I know that some folks are may or may not be religious, and so they may or may not view magic in a good light. There's a very basic definition from Peter J. Carroll, who recently passed away. He passed away on the 22nd of April, I believe, which is the same day? No, 2 days after David Wilcock. Wow, that's interesting, right? So we got it here for your edification and understanding. A basic interpolation. Chaos magic in a nutshell, and just basically magic in general. Chaos magic belief is treated as a tool of magic rather than as an end in itself. Newtarp is the expression for the chaos magician. You can find this on specularium.org under the tab Wizardry. Nothing has ultimate truth. Anything remains possible. Newtarp preferring the precision of V prime language and thought. After all, nothing really is anything else. Of course, probably based on the universe, such as some things remain possible more than others. Fortunately, we can precisely calculate how much probability distortion a given act of magic will produce using the following equation, where PM means probability of accomplishing something with magic and P equals the probability of the event's natural occurrence. Spell refers to the enchantment to encourage something to happen, and anti-spell refers to the enchantment to prevent something from occurring. In divination, P simply represents the probability of guessing the answer by chance alone. As you can see, the equation of magic gives rise to a three-dimensional graph, the first of which, traditionally known as the tripod of stochasticos, shows that even an event with zero probability of natural occurrence can occur under the influence of sufficient magic. M equals GLSB, where G equals gnosis, two particular altered states of consciousness. L means the magical link, and S means the sublimation of intent, and B means belief. So that's measurable phenomena, the ingredients of magic. To achieve maximization of all these factors, a magician may in practice use wands, robes, visualizations, symbolic systems, sigils, barbarous tongues, rituals, and other means of egress from normal states of mind, even though in theory a supreme exponent of magic could achieve it all whilst sitting quietly in a chair, rather like a mathematician working without pencil or paper, waste paper basket, blackboard, geometry instruments, books, and references. However, you're better off using some of the accoutrements of magic in order to aid you, at least at the preliminary levels. Some contemporary magicians like to experiment with the belief that their own subconscious either contains astonishing knowledge and power, and or it can somehow tap into such things using some sort of quantum, non-local psychic network. This can include sources of alien extraterrestrial intelligences or cosmic universal intelligences as well. Either way, such spirit guides seem best interfaced with by personifying them as animate entities, as our neurophysiology has largely evolved for just such forms of interaction. Work with the entities requires considerable skill and discrimination. As with people, some talk rubbish, behave unreliably, and have only menial abilities, whilst others display towering genius, have extraordinary abilities, and seem worth cultivating as lifelong friends and allies. When you're working with an entity, right, whether it be within the kingdom of heaven, the Christ idea, the Christ consciousness, Jesus himself, or any other of the achieved ascended masters, for example, I work personally with Master Liu Dongbing, then you want to get out of it something that you put into it, right? Do I get out at least as much or more than I put into the relationship? Do my evoked servitors actually distort probability in the required direction? And do my invoked gods and goddesses, daemons and demons actually inspire me to accomplish more than I could by ordinary means? If that's not the case, then maybe you're better off as an individual practitioner working alone within the kingdom of heaven. Whilst the supreme exponent of magic could, in principle, invoke or evoke anything by pure will and imagination alone, which is what I typically do, many of us seem to end up with a temple full of such tools and circles and triangles and tomes of mythology, servitor ground sleeves, images and sculptures of ancient syncretic and synthetic god forms and demon fetishes, which I would suggest not going too far in that direction. Magic can consist of the use of imaginary phenomena to create real effects. All right. And so, like the cover here of the meditation series 1, you have the magician with the infinity symbol above his head connecting along the middle pillar, the Ouroboros at the waist, right? He's holding the double-headed wand aloft, drawing down the divine spark through himself as the mediator of direct manifestation into the prime material plane, right? And so that one sigil, the first key, is Initiation into Hermetics by Franz Barden. His book is an extrapolation of the ideas contained in that first key of the tarot. So grab any tarot deck and check out your magician card, and you're going to see what magic's all about, right? I've got the Darkwood tarot here. Darkwood, I wonder what she was thinking. And I remember when I got the Darkwood tarot, I thought this seems like a very, very effeminate deck. World card, quite lovely. I like to look at different interpretations of the tarot. Yeah, this one's pretty good. It has kind of an anime, cartoonesque type of presentation. I'm looking for that magician, though, so we can have a good look at it. Oh, the chariot in this one's kind of interesting. It's just an eagle. I don't know why they chose the eagle, right? Chariot is Cancer, right? Yeah, so it should be the crab. The eagle is Scorpio. I think that would be better suited to the death card, all right? Page of Swords also makes for a nice magician card. All right, similar type of idea playing out. There's the Emperor. Oh, the Emperor's nice. It's at least consistent with its zodiacal sign, right? Zodiac sign, the Ram or Aries, which we just passed through, right, guys? We're moving out of Aries, and yeah, we're out of Aries and we're in Taurus. So happy birthday to all my Taurian friends out there. My mom was a Taurus. Aha! Here's the magician. This is the magician from the Darkwood car, and it has the same basic symbology, right? We have a magician with a wand held aloft, and then the universal energy spiraling down, swirling into manifestation on the altar, or the working altar of the magician. And on the table are the accoutrements of the art. It's got a wand, a pentacle, a cup, and a sword. And then there's actually a deck of cards as well. And it says, as above, so below on the altar. It has a table runner. Very nice. In the background are lilies and roses. And above is an owl. Also, looks like a female in this card, maybe. The figures in this deck are somewhat androgynous, but a lot of them tend towards feminine expression. So if you're not familiar, yeah, the Darkwood Tarot, a pretty good one, guys. A bit of an effeminate deck. There is the cover. Oh, and I had speak of the devil and it doth appear. I had mentioned the Page of Swords as a good talisman for magic as well. The discernment, the discretion, the mental sphere, working with the astral light and bringing it into manifestation. Kind of a nice thing, a lovely thing. All right, so with the magician in mind, we will read the prayer from the Tarot Apprentice's Handbook by Elaine Conley. She has a prayer for each of the major arcana. And since we just talked about the magician in practice of magic and QiGong, I'll go ahead and read the prayer from this handbook. Ata Malkut Vegubra Vegudla Leolam. Amen. Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come. Thy kingdom come, right? Our Father who art in heaven, as above. Thy kingdom come, so it is below. Give us this day our daily bread. Forgive us our trespasses. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory forever and ever. Amen. Major Arcana key number 1, the Magician. This day, dear Lord, my needs weigh heavy, filling my heart and mind with apprehension. There is so much I want to accomplish, and I am in need of thine divine strength. I know that all I have to do is reach out and let thy love permeate my whole being, and all is mine. If I forget, dear Father, let me feel the comfort of thy everlasting love. Let me recognize thee in everyone I see today, right? The dialogical of I and thou. When I am called upon to make decisions that affect not only myself but others, let me first come to thee for heavenly reassurance. May I be conscious that success is only of this earth, and that all I do should be with thee in my mind and heart. Thou art ever with me, dear Lord, in every decision, every hope, and every hurt. I pray that thy presence bless all I do today. In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen. Yeah, there it is there. A little triune expression. And I think that's going to do it for today, guys. I opened it up, and as per usual, no takers to hang out and chill with old Frank Monday for a little bit. So I'll go ahead and $1.20. It's a good place to cap the video. We'll sign off with a little music for the people, right? We'll go with some of that old Dweller of the Dark. And the Witches Down at Judas Mill, I believe, is this one. So I'll go ahead and grab that. I think it is, might not be. Some blessings for the people, and then we'll go ahead and sign off. Enjoy the music, beloved.
Dead of night, the wind howls slow. Grim, ghastly phantom haunt and go. Ghostly galleons, the Flying Dutchman drift by. On emerald seas where the moonbeams lie, mist-hung shadows of masts and spars, fog derelicts under haunted stars, the creak of timbers and the flap of sail, ghoulish shapes from bow to aft of the rails. On a low black island, the Louisiana swamp, strange things occur, 'tis said. Night by night, the moon glows skull white on the shores of the vengeful dead. Voodoo drums and pirate songs palms and cypress dim. Cutlasses ring at the shoreline's brim. Boats list low in the swamp's edge, gleaming swords on a white shell ledge. Rattle of bones and rasp of spade, ghost murmurs in the palmetto glade. Phantom forms in the witch's hour convene. Bounty treasure guarded eternally between. On a low black isle in the Louisiana swamp, strange things occur to said. Night by night the moon glows skull white on the shores of the vengeful dead. Undead commands and a rattle of skeletal feet, a clash of arms in the spectral retreat. Murmured oaths and a bluster's roar, Sailmo's fire on the moonlit shore. Blood sands neath the full blood moon, a battalion of ghosts by the duckweed lagoon. Skeleton swings high and free from the rotted rope of a gnarled tree. On a low black isle in the Louisiana swamp, strange things occur to say. Night by night the moon glows skull white on the shores of the vengeful dead.
I don't know if you guys can hear those firecrackers out my window, but somebody's absolutely going bananas with the fireworks out there. I don't know why. What holiday is it? It's May Day holiday, which is like what, Labor Day? I don't really get it, but yeah, I might need to throw open the window and see what's going on. They're going bananas out there with the fireworks. So that's going to be it for today, guys. Blessings. Thank you for stopping by. Please do hit the like and subscribe. All that fun stuff that makes YouTube's algorithms bark like Pavlov's dog, because we got to keep feeding the algobots here on the boob tubes, guys. Keep doing good magic. Hope you're progressing with the 100-day challenge. And until next time, carpe diem and ad astra per aspera. I will see you in the abodes of the future. Bye for now.